Hey guys, so right now I want to show you how to make painted paper, and we may have made painted paper together before, so this might be familiar to you, especially some of these tools that we're going to be using, and you might not have all of these tools out, but these are just some of the things that we might be working with. You'll also have a palette of paints that belong to one family, some paintbrushes, and I usually don't even use water when making painted paper because all the colors kind of mix together, and that's kind of the point of it. But you will have some different brushes so that you can, if you want, you can designate one brush to one color and so on. So you're just going to start with one color and start painting on your paper. You can paint the entire paper one color to start with if you want to. And we're going to work quickly with the paints because these dry pretty quickly, and once they dry we can't manipulate them or kind of change them. So I'm not going to do the whole thing, I'm just going to paint like part of it, and then I'm going to choose another color and I'm going to kind of paint the rest of it really quickly because this is just like a base coat, and we're going to be adding lots of stuff on top of it, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like. Okay, so I put some paint on, and now I can start introducing some of these fun tools. These rollers, you can use them directly on, but I think it actually works better if you sort of dip them in the paints. And you can do it sort of like what I'm doing, or you can kind of brush on top of it with a paintbrush. Oops. And you see, I'm rolling it through the paint just like this. Okay, and then rolling it right onto the paper. Okay, and it's like a rolling stamp. Okay, another thing I can do is use these scrapers directly on the paint. Remember, if it's dry, this is not going to happen. So the paint needs to be wet, and these are really cool. You can try to sort of dip them in the paint. It's a little bit challenging, but you can try to do that and then brush it on and sort of see what happens. You can get a similar effect by using the back end of your paintbrush and kind of scraping in. This way you can sort of like draw into it, which is really neat. You can be adding more paint on top. I mean, if you don't like the way something looks, you can easily cover it up. This makes sort of a texture. You can use some of these stamping tools. I mean, this way I'm kind of spinning it and it's sort of scraping up the paint. You can dip it into paint and stamp it on to make a colorful stamp. Something like this, you can use it the same way. You can stamp it directly or dip it, stamp it on. The paintbrushes can be used almost like sponges, dabbing the paint on and off. Okay, and you can go on like this forever and ever, making lots of layers onto your paper. Okay, because we're going to be using this paper for some fun projects, so we want it to be as interesting as possible. Okay, you can use the different ones and just really keep manipulating it just like this until you get it to a place where you want it to be.